Since the beginning of time, the endless cycle of Ganondorf, Princess Zelda and Link has been going on. But this actually all started with one event, the creation of the world and the gods who created everything, and they are responsible for this endless war. Yes, the gods started it all, and I have my reasons for thinking this, since things don't always look as simple as they do. Let's start with taking a look at how the world was created by the gods. According to legend, when all was chaos, three goddesses Din, Faeror and Nehru descended from a distant nebula and began creation of what would become the world. When their work was completed, the golden goddesses ascended to the heavens, and the mythical Triforce, an object capable of granting any wish, was hidden in the sacred realm, waiting for someone to find it and bring complete prosperity or ultimate destruction to the world. Although they seemingly intended for it to be used for benevolent reasons, it was mostly sought after by evil beings, who caused numerous wars. It is widely unknown what sort of personalities they held, but they at very least seemed to care for others to an extent. So from the very beginning their motives are questionable, and we don't even know what kind of beings they are and what their plans are. It was notable, however, in the adult timeline, that the one time that they directly intervened with Hyrule, they for some reason drowned it to stop Ganondorf instead of using their powers to destroy him. So they helped the Hylians a bit, but not completely. It almost seems like they don't want to intervene too much. Besides this, it seems like they created the world just for fun. They didn't really have a reason and didn't stick around to see the results. They didn't even care about it since they left an artifact behind that could destroy it all instantly. The Triforce has the power to grant the wish of whomever touches it, and molds the sacred realm to reflect that person's heart. So this is already a pretty bad sign. Somebody could change everything or destroy it all at any point. Why would they leave something like this behind? Is there a reason for it? Well, I will come back to that later. After this, the events of Skyward Sword occur, where Hylia keeps the Triforce safe, and Demise attacks the surface to get the Triforce. Link eventually defeats him, and with his final breaths, Demise vows that his hatred will not end, and will be reborn in the coming ages. So this is where the cycle of Link, Princess Zelda and Ganondorf begins, and this was actually all planned by the gods. Since they are all puppets and represent each god. Link is Faeror, Ganondorf is Din, and Zelda is Nehru. I shall explain. Let's start with Din. According to the Great Deku Tree, she, with her strong flaming arms, cultivated the land and created the Red Earth. She, the goddess of power, formed the terrain of Hyrule, and was closely associated with the Triforce of Power. As the creator of the land, she is often associated with the elements of earth, fire, and volcanic activity. Let's start from the beginning. Demise and his army originally came from a fissure in the earth. This was said in the prologue of Skyward Sword. This is our very first clue for the connection between the two. Din is the person who created the Red Earth, so she must also have created Demise, since he originally came from underneath the earth. But you can also see it. If you look closely at Demise, then you can see that he is also associated with the right elements. His hair is made of the element of fire, and he came from a fissure from the earth, which represents the earth itself and volcanic activity. Demise is also vicious and lacking in compassion, comparing mortals as being weak. Even though he apparently prides himself for his power, his thirst for power made him seek the Triforce, all while hurting and murdering innocent beings in his quest. So even his original motive was a thirst for power, which also fits with Din. And he also cares a lot about it, since he even calls mortals weak. Which is a clear sign that he thinks that being weak is an insult. This fits with his power narrative, but this is mostly a minor detail that could be a hint. A lot of this also fits with his other form later on in the series, Ganondorf, the incarnation of his hatred. So, as you can see, there are a surprising amount of similarities between Demise and Din. Now let's move on to the next one, Faeror. This one resembles Link. She, with her rich soul, created all the living inhabitants in the world to uphold the law. Faeror was the goddess of courage, and as such was associated with the Triforce of Courage. As the goddess that breathed life into the world, Faeror is often associated with the forest and the element of wind. The connection between Link and Faeror is their motive, since it's exactly the same. Both Link and Faeror are defenders of life. They care about peace and justice, since Link fights evil to save the people, and Faeror wants to uphold law. Their character and motives are similar, and they both represent courage. In terms of looks, they are also similar, since Link's hero outfit has the same color as Faeror, which is green. So just like Demise and Din, Link and Faeror both act and look like each other. Now for our last god, Nehru, who resembles Princess Zelda, also known as the reincarnation of Hylia. She was the goddess who poured her wisdom onto the earth, and gave the spirit of law to the world. She was revered for creating the laws and physics of the universe that kept it in order. Nehru is the goddess of wisdom, and because of that is associated with the Triforce of wisdom. Her mark is also the symbol of the Zora, which is fitting as Nehru is often associated with the element of water. Now, there's one really big reason why Zelda fits with Nehru. They both brought order to the world. Long ago, when the three goddesses of old departed from the world that they had created, they trusted their ultimate power, the Triforce, to the hands of Hylia, so that she could protect it. She did so throughout the era of the goddess Hylia. So when Zelda was still a god, she created order by keeping the Triforce safe, and later on she did the same. The royal family of Hyrule created peace and order since the beginning of time, and Princess Zelda played a big role in this. We have seen this countless of times, for example in Twilight Princess, where she rules the kingdom. So Zelda, Link and Demise are all similar to one of the gods, and fitting enough the ones that represent their Triforce piece. Wait, is this more complex than it actually looks? Is saving Hyrule actually what matters here? Or is there something else going on? Because if you look at this from a distance and sum it all up, then you will actually start to see the bigger picture. Let's start with a simple question. Why did the gods even create the world? What is their motive? Were they so bored that they thought, well, let's create an entire world and leave behind an all-destroying power so that it could be gone in seconds? No. This wasn't the reason why they created it. There was most likely a conflict, and this was clear from the beginning. When the world was created, Din, the most power-hungry and warmongering of the three, set a trap. This trap was set beneath the earth and resembled her character, Demise, the one that would destroy it all. But Nehru and Faeror, the ones who care about peace, order and justice, saw this coming, and prepared by introducing their own counterparts. And so the chosen hero and Hylia were created to maintain peace and fight Din's forces of evil who wanted to end it all. And so it ended up becoming a war between the three gods, and they all chose their hero to fight for them. But it could also be that this goes back way further, before the world was even created. They are all mighty gods, with incredible power of course, so maybe they created the world to act as their battlefield. Since if they would fight among themselves, they could destroy existence. They are gods who create worlds after all. Such a clash of power could be devastating, so maybe they created Hyrule, the chosen hero, Hylia and Demise, as their soldiers and place to fight this out. But keep in mind, Hylia created the chosen hero, so Nehru created Faeror's counterpart. But why is unknown. And that's why they don't end it all. For example with the flood, which I mentioned earlier, or the downfall timeline where Ganon won. They could easily destroy Ganon, it wouldn't take any effort, but they don't do this. Or Nehru and Faeror can't destroy Ganon because Din is in the way. She's the goddess of power after all, so I assume she is the strongest. But it could also be that one can't live without the other. Maybe the gods need each other to exist. It could be that they all need to exist in order to create and maintain the right balance. This would also explain why they left behind the Triforce, a powerful artifact that anyone can use, good or evil. If anyone could use it, it would be fair for all of them. All of a sudden, the weird little things make sense. The gods are neutral and only help out a little, since it's just a game to them. They don't care. Another example of them being neutral is seen in the Tower of Gods. The boss helps Link by dropping items, and is just a test. They don't want to intervene too much by taking out the hero themselves. The gods stay in the background. They even let the downfall timeline happen. Thousands of humans were slain, and they could have helped just like in the adult timeline. But no. And so you see that they are just pawns in a big game of godly chess. Thanks for watching everybody. You can vote up top in the upper right corner for what you thought about this video, about the theory itself and the video and everything, because I would love to know. And yeah, I know it's a bit of a controversial one, but I still hope you enjoyed it.